Hi YouTube, welcome to the grassy flatlands, or as Air likes to call them, the pukey craplands. Anyway, no, the grassy flatlands is a good map, I think, for making sure the play is fair. Just because I don't like it, I guess I don't give it too hard of a time. But in any case, I'm playing as Poland in honor of my Poland-Lithuania campaign. I wanted you to get to see some of Poland's units in action online, and not just see how they fare against the AI. Now, this is going to be pretty heavily edited couple of battles. Yes, I have 2 battles with Poland. I'm going to edit it pretty good because the battles were both very long, and I'll try and bring you some of the key points of action and strategy. My units consist of 4 Winged Hussars. Here they are. Man, those are some cool units. You gotta love these guys. The get-up is just amazing. You should read about them sometime. I've read a little bit. Pretty interesting. Now, this is an early period battle. In Empire Total War, when you play online, there's 2 periods of time in which you can play. Early period, which is no fire by rank, no long-range skirmishers, stuff like that, no light infantry doctrine. So very much a different style of play. Without fire by rank, you have to spread your lines thinner in order to get more firepower. Your line infantry can't form squares, so they're vulnerable to cavalry. Most factions have crap cavalry, but Poland actually stands out in the early period because you can bring Winged Hussars, because these guys have actually been around since the medieval ages pretty much, or at least the late medieval ages. You can tell by their get-ups here. And these guys have like 12 morale, like 17 attack, 25 charge, and like 17 defense, something like that. Anyway, they are extremely good for early period cav. In fact, as far as early period cav goes, I don't know if there's any cav that beats these. Alright, so I have 4 Winged Hussars, 2 on each flank. I have 6 units of line infantry. Line infantry also does not have socket bayonets. In early period, they have plug bayonets, and once your men have fixed plug bayonets, they can no longer fire, and they are permanently melee infantry for the rest of the game. Let's take a look at my teammate, who's playing as Austria. I don't know his name, you'll see at the end. He's taken up a more campy approach rather than my aggressive approach. He's got several units, I think it's 4 units of these Jaegers. He's got a unit of Sakers, which is fixed artillery. Another unit of Sakers, which is fixed artillery. Up front here, he's got 4 line infantry. Austrian line sucks even in late periods, so it's going to be especially sucky. He's got 2 4-inch mortar batteries, which is fixed artillery with extremely long range. And then out here, he's got a couple of General's Bodyguards. A lot of people do that because they feel like the General's Bodyguard cav is better because it's heavy and it's early period, but General's Bodyguard cav sucks. You really should never bring more than 1, and it should only be used for your general. That's my opinion, though. I mean, I'm not going to give my teammate too hard of a time. My Austrian opponent, which is not... he's facing off against my Austrian teammate, so the Austrian opponent is one with the red flags, trying not to get there, the red outline around the flag, so try not to confuse that. He has a 4-inch mortar battery. He's got 2 units of provincial cavalry, 2 general's bodyguards. His infantry, let's see, 1, 2, 3, sorry, I'm counting now. Looks like 5 line infantry, and I think he has 3 Jaegers. Yeah, it's like 5 line infantry, 3 Jaegers. He's got a 3-pounder Horsart over here as well. And that must have been another Jaeger unit right there that just disappeared into hiding. My Ottoman opponent, which is the one I'm directly facing, what he has visible at the moment is 3 stinking units of demi-cannons, and these things really aren't that good, and they're causing me very little damage, but the problem is going to be once I come into close range, they're going to be able to canister shot the living daylights out of me. So these are going to be a real problem. So you might be seeing them now, and seeing that they're causing almost no damage because they're terrible in accuracy, but they are going to be quite a problem. And then just behind them, you can see that there are 7 units of Semet Janissaries, and these guys are dedicated melee units. They are very good in a melee, and you can see the little swords they have there. Pretty cool, or crazy looking in my opinion. These guys will absolutely rape my line infantry in a melee fight, even if I fix my bayonets. So I'm going to have a strategy to deal with them. And then he has 2 units of Mamluks, which are usually pretty decent cavalry for early period. But compared to my Winged Hussars, these guys might as well be mounted crap. Like, literally, a piece of crap in the saddle. In any case, whew, that's kind of a strange idea. Now, my opponent has some other... Check out that canister shot. I mean, it's just absolutely shredding this unit of line infantry. It just went down from 120 to 79 men. And, yeah, these guys just got raped by that canister shot. It was bad. My opponent just had 4 units of Hussars pop out, which are which are 90 range skirmish units. So basically his plan is to basically shoot the crap out of my infantry force and then finish me off in melee. My plan is to spread thin, blanket my opponent with a devastating initial volley, and forcing him to run forward, and then I'll show you where my strategy goes from there. It should be pretty obvious. Attacking my opponent like head-on like this is very suicidal. You can see one of my line infantry units is already routing, but trust me folks, I have a plan to the madness here, and it's all going to work out. You just got to trust Air Carthage. Remember, most of my strategies involve getting a lot of my men fixed, as a lot of things are just a delaying or holding maneuver, or sometimes a distraction maneuver. Now my opponent wanted me to attack him head-on. I shouldn't have attacked him head-on if I wanted to minimize my losses. You know Air Carthage, I don't really care about minimizing my losses so long as I'm going to win the battle. So I'm going to take him head-on just like he wants, and this will work as a perfect distraction because he'll be confident thinking, he'll be thinking, I've got this battle totally won, and because my opponent's doing exactly what I want, his line infantry's already routing, so he's going to feel nice and safe. Yeah, so my opponent should be pretty well feeling satisfied with himself, thinking that he's got this battle won. Now, my teammate was telling me that he had apparently played a game against these two same guys in the last game, that they were calling him a noob. I don't know if it's true or not, I don't really care. So these guys are probably feeling pretty confident, because it sounds like they won their last game pretty handily. Now, these Semet Janissaries are good. That is, good at being chucked a long ways by my awesome winged hussars. And you can see that his Mamluk charge only killed, a few of my men, and that was 2 units of his Mamluks charging in, plus his Semet Janissaries. And here comes my the remainder of my winged hussars crashing in on the rear of his cavalry, and Mamluk cavalry is going to get absolutely destroyed by winged hussars. My opponent suffered a hammer and anvil attack by my winged hussars here and absolutely trashed these Semet Janissaries. There goes, only 18 survived out of 120. And one thing that melee infantry is sometimes okay against cavalry in an extended melee fight, but in the charge and stuff, it'll absolutely devastate them, and they are terrible at holding off, especially a heavy cavalry charge. Melee infantry is best used against other infantry and not against heavy cavalry. So here my winged hussars are just absolutely wreaking havoc on the enemy army. You can see here that I initially charged in. Let's go back here and take a look at the body count. You can see that a good number of my men did die, but let's zoom up a little here. You can also see, check out all that dead Mamluk Cav and Semet Janissaries. Alright, so that's kind of an above view. Check out all the routing Ottoman flags at this point. So my opponent, I let him win the fight on his other flank because I was going to concentrate my efforts on one of his flanks and then wrap him up. And now the key here is I got to keep my my winged hussars moving. I can't let too many of them die because I'm depending on them to be the striking force in my army, whereas my infantry is just the distraction, meat shield, throwaway units. Did you hear that, men? Did you hear what I think of you? You're a bunch of throwaway crap. Any case, my fight with the Ottoman goes on much in this manner. I'm going to stop recording and come back at a different phase of the battle. Civil War going on the other side of the map. I do have it in fast forward. You can see that my teammate is the one with the blue around his banners. The enemy is the one with the red around the banners. Should be pretty easy to distinguish. You can actually see that my my teammate is being enveloped and very kind of slowly killed. And I noticed this from the other side of the battle where I was trying to mop up the rest of the Ottoman troops. There was a couple of melee units and a couple of hussars left. And I was sitting there deciding what to do next, because I saw my teammate being beaten, and I'm like, man, by the time I beat these Ottoman troops and then make it to my teammate, he's already going to be dead, and there's going to be too many Austrians left for me to do anything about. So I had to do some quick thinking. Now let me explain to you my strategy before this battle started, and what I was thinking. When I came into an early period battle, you have to think about these things differently. Some people come into early period battles thinking relatively in the same terms that they do as a late period battle. But the danger in that is that long range doesn't work the same, fire by rank doesn't work the same, and cavalry is typically a lot less useful. So my strategy was, I'm not going to fool with any units with long range, not going to fool with them because it's a waste, and I'm going to bring an extremely heavy cavalry component and use that to absolutely destroy the opposing armies, while I fix them in place with my line infantry, which line infantry is pretty limited in its usefulness because it can't fire by rank. So the Austrian opponent here was feeling pretty confident, thinking he was winning the fight. And check this out, though. Very, very slowly, because of their exhaustion from having had to run across the map. Check out who's coming. Look at this. These guys don't even know what's about to hit them. My Austrian opponent here was not paying attention at all, and I totally caught him unawares. So check this out. Here comes the charge of the much exhausted Winged Hussars. Definitely not going to send men flying this time because their speed is not all that good. But I am going to come in here and stab these guys in the face, just like that. That was pretty awesome. You see him looking at him? I think he was probably mouthing off to him. That's pretty cool. In any case, so right here, even though my Winged Hussars are depleted and exhausted, these Austrian troops are just going to get absolutely mauled by this heavy cav. Remember, my guys have 12 morale, and the enemy troops have, like, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that area. So the morale is much lower. They've been shot up. They're not any good at fighting against cavalry unless they fix their bayonets, and if they fix their bayonets, they can no longer shoot. And even if they did fix their bayonets, they would still have limited ability to defend against heavy cavalry. So here I am just mopping through all the Austrian infantry, and I just saved my teammate. So remember this, the line that I told you in my last Napoleon battle? I said you can die alone or fight united. I took my own advice there, and may have saved the battle. Again, I'm going to stop recording and come to you towards the end. We're coming up on the end game of this match, and this is so disgraceful to me. I have infantry who survived. Now, this infantry, though, they are going to be feeling pretty happy. Pretty happy that they were able to survive marching dead on into canister shot, ravaging hordes of melee infantry with curved swords, with the crazed Ottomans who only wished to spill the blood of these Polish troops. And after having survived all of that insanity, here they are, and they're like, oh, thank goodness. Man, I can't believe we made it out of this battle alive. And like, yeah, we're some of the lucky few. Finally get to go home to our families. That is, until Eyre realized that he had infantry that survived, and didn't quite feel satisfied that he had infantry that survived. And so, against their will, and much to the chagrin of their family and friends, I ordered them to their death. Man, I'm such a good commander. So check these guys out. They're like, really? Honestly, he couldn't just let us live? And hey, that's the price you pay when you join Eyre's army. You shouldn't do it. But then again, do they really have a choice but to join my army? Alright, so here I am, sending my men into their death. Like I said, because I wasn't happy with the fact that some of them might have survived. They're fighting with these Hussars here. And the Hussars actually hold out pretty good, probably because they have swords. And they're wearing those cool, like, MC Hammer pants. They can move around a lot better. Anyway, so there you can see that one of my my Polish units already bugged out, so I made sure that many of them died, and these guys really won the lottery here, so to speak. 1 in a million odds they survived to live another day. Unbelievable. Man, I really failed as a commander if I'm sending these guys back to their families. In any case, this battle is over. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the tactics there. I'll have a little bit more discussion on early period tactics as soon as I get a chance. Now let's move on to the second battle. Oh, by the way, there's the results and the names of my teammate and my opponents. Well, it says, actually it doesn't show the name of my teammate because it put me on his, so in any case, I was the Polish, not the Austrians.